We admire heroes. From ancient warriors to modern icons, heroic masculinity has been praised as the ultimate ideal. Strength, bravery, stoicism, all symbols of a man's worth. But what happens when these traits go unchecked? What lies in the shadow of the hero? The idea of heroic masculinity is ancient. In Greek mythology, Achilles was honored for his valor. In Norse legends, Odin and Thor embodied strength and dominance. These stories shaped entire cultures, teaching men that their value came from power, control, and the ability to conquer. But this was just one version of manhood, a version that glorified war, emotional suppression, and dominance over others. As societies evolved, the heroic male archetype remained. In the 20th century, films and literature continued this narrative. The lone hero, emotionally distant but physically strong. Men were told to man up, to hide weakness, to never cry. Over time, these expectations created pressure. Masculinity became a performance, and vulnerability a weakness. Psychologists today warn about the dangers of toxic masculinity, not because masculinity itself is bad, but because when men feel forced to suppress emotion, they suffer in silence. Studies show that men are less likely to seek help for mental health. They're more prone to suicide, addiction, and violence, not because they're broken, but because they've been taught that being a man means enduring alone. Even in modern warfare, we see this burden play out. Soldiers are trained to be fearless, to ignore fear and grief. But when they return home, many face PTSD, depression, and isolation. The very traits that made them heroes on the battlefield leave them struggling to reintegrate into everyday life. The dark side of heroic masculinity is the mask it forces men to wear. A mask of control, silence, and toughness. But behind it, many are hurting, unable to express what they feel or ask for help. Masculinity should not be a prison. History is filled with men who embodied heroic masculinity and lost themselves in it. From Roman generals to modern dictators, some men believed that dominance and control were proof of greatness. But in the pursuit of strength, they became tyrants, feared, not admired. Their inability to show empathy or admit vulnerability destroyed nations and lives. So what's the alternative? It's not weakness, it's balance. Healthy masculinity embraces courage, but also compassion. It honors strength, but not at the cost of connection. It allows men to feel, to grieve, to care, to protect without needing to dominate. The new hero isn't just the warrior or the conqueror. He's the mentor, the father, the friend. He's emotionally intelligent, grounded and brave enough to be vulnerable. True strength is the courage to be real, even when it's hard. Masculinity doesn't need to be rewritten. It needs to be remembered in its full complexity, not as a tool for power, but as a foundation for purpose. Only when we acknowledge both the light and the dark side of heroic masculinity can we move toward a world where men are free, not just to fight, but to feel.